We are not, it's not theory, okay? It's something God wants us to understand. And I'm going to teach you one way to ride on the wings of the winds. And so we're going to read this, and then we're going to take this song again. And I want you to do it with all seriousness. Okay? Ezekiel chapter 1. We're still going to take this one. Ezekiel chapter 1. Very quickly, verse speaking about he saw the fallen creatures. No distractions, please. No distractions. Now read verse 6. It says, and every one of them, and everyone had 4 faces, and everyone had 4 wings. You've got to understand what we're doing, okay? They had 4 wings. I want you to get something. I'll read from verse 23. And under the firmament were their wings straight, the one toward the other. Everyone had 2, which covered on this side, and everyone had 2, which covered on that side, their bodies. Okay? I will follow you. Verse 24. It says, and when they went, I heard the noise of their wings. Did you hear that? Did you see that? The noise means the voice of their wings, the sound of their wings. It says like the noise of great waters. The movement of the wings and the flapping of their wings was not just so they could fly. I want you to understand that. It was not so they could fly. They didn't need the wings to fly. But those who had wings had the power of the air and the power of the winds.
Wow.
You've got to know this. It says, I heard the noise of your wings like the noise of great waters, as the voice of the Almighty.
Wow.
The voice of speech.
Wow.
As the noise of an host.
Wow.
When they stood, they let down their wings. But when they were to move, what did they do?
And it was the voice of speech.
And as they did, what did he hear?
He heard the noise of great waters. As the voice of the Almighty. The voice of speech. As the noise of an host.
In June of 2017, I had a significant dream about Warrington. There was a certain place not far from here, still on this Fifth Avenue, that there was a very vicious demonic being. And in the dream, he had 2 very dark wings. He would lift them up and utter curses. Okay? And then he would let down the wings. And he kept doing that perpetually. I wasn't in Abuja at that time. And so I began to speak to people around. You people will have to deal with this thing. Do you understand? So you people will have to take care of this thing. that was a prince, demonic prince. So when this was brought up and the Lord put it in your mind, it's not theory. Sometimes it's a journey we're in and there's something is bringing us to fight. And it's more than the knowledge of the head. Do you understand?
Yes.
See, the noise of waters, of many waters, is one of the angelic languages. Okay? So it is not just about, remember I said in time I had an assignment, and just as I was walking, I heard the flappings of the wings of an angel. Just behind by my side. Do you understand? So, we're going to take that song and we're going to flap our wings. Do you understand what I'm saying? Pastor had spoken about the function of the wings in terms of, okay, I spoke about the transportation. Now, you've spoken about how they're used to scatter and to gather.
Yes.
Okay, that's the Elam, and then Ezekiel's the gathering.
Yes.
So they are the transporters. Okay, and it's the princes that have the power of the wind. So they are responsible for the gathering and the scattering. The transportation of people, whether the scattering or the gathering. We can't talk about Nigeria now. I feel like we have to do this. Because there are two winds in play. There is a wind of desolation that is scattering people. And there's also a righteous wind that is sending people to certain specific places. Some people are actually going to the wrong places. And it will cost them a lot. They don't know. That's a talk for another day. But I want us to, this is not a mistake. So do we understand that? Now, go to Revelation, I want to talk to you about the voice of many waters before we go back to taking that song. Go to Revelations 1:15. So I said the voice of many waters is a language. It wasn't just about the sound of the wings, okay?
Revelation
1:15. This is when the Lord appeared to John. And look at what he heard. He was describing the word, verse 15, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace, and his voice as what?
Sound of many waters.
Go to Revelations 14, verse 2. So the wings were making a voice. They had a speech. They had a language. They had a sound. And it was the sound like that of many waters. When Gabriel appeared to Daniel, he heard what? The voice of a multitude. These are different angelic languages. Revelations 42 says what? From this one, and I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on Mount Zion, and with him 144,000, having his father's name written in their foreheads. And I heard a voice from heaven, as the voice of what?
Many waters.
You hear another voice, and as a voice of a great thunder. So these are different languages. So now the movement of those angels with the wings, such that when they let their wings, what happened? That was how what? The wings. Have you spoke about people that have had dreams, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes do you see yourself stretched out, flying in your dream? The fact that Satan is shown to be a prince as well, princes have the power of the air, doesn't mean it's an exclusive authority of the devil. Moses had the power of the wind, Elijah had the power of the wind. The day of Pentecost, what delivered?
The wind took Elijah from place to place.
The day of Pentecost, how did the gift get delivered? By a mighty rushing wind. It's a transport system. So, there are wars that you will fight, and the enemy is going to wield this weapon. You have to know how to and when to. Because there are times you will have to give the commands that the angels are echoing. When you march, then they march.
Yeah.
I had a dream 2017. I was going to have an assignment, and in my dream, I got into a certain place. There was a stronghold, and there were angels, like soldiers, on one, let's say the opposite side of the road. And as soon as I got to this place, someone shot at me in the dream. So as soon as they shot at me, I found myself running in the air. As I was running in the air, the soldiers that were on that side, as they saw me running, they started running. These are angels. They follow those that are assigned to you. If you don't properly align, you give the wrong commands. You give the wrong commands. That's why the enemy wants to keep the church in perpetual darkness, not knowing what to do.
Yeah, very right.
Not knowing what to do. So these are, and it's connected to everything. Deliveries that should come to you that is being stopped. There's a delivery to come into Daniel's hands, but the prince of Babylon is stopping it. There are deliveries to come. If you don't wrestle, they'll stop it. And you have to know how to make sure you are contending properly so that your deliveries are not being stopped. Very true. Yesterday I had a number of things God was going to show me in the dream. The first dream, I woke up, I was trying to remember. I stood up, prayed, went back to bed. In the second dream, I was waking up and I was saying in my dream, Lord have mercy and help me to remember all I need to remember. I went back to bed and they began to come in bits and pieces. I knew there was a certain battleground that I needed to discern what I needed to do. The moment you know what to do, things just line up in place. I spoke to you about what I had to deal with over the past week. Someone, the enemy was going to attack with death. He was dead. If I just run and just, see, there are things come from the four winds. How does breath enter back? If you don't know what weapon to use, it does not just happen. There are commands that you give. The laying of hands is for something. But that's not all there is. Bread of life from the four winds come. Yes, come. Tongues of fire from the four winds come. Yes, come. Surround me now. Bread of life from the four winds come. Yes, come. Tongues of fire from the four winds come. Spread of from the fall. Stand up and spread out your wings. Stand up and spread out your wings. Tongues of fire from the fall. Yes, Lord. Surround us. Surround us. Pray the Spirit. Stretch your wings and pray the Spirit. Surround us now. 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 Breath of God from the Holy Spirit. Yes, tongues of fire from the forest God. Yes, surround us. Surround us He turned the sky.